Hi, I'm Jennifer and I'm super excited you're here today because today we're going to be making my wonderful super easy recipe for homemade candied pecans. Before we get our pecans put together, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. This recipe is super easy and only takes minutes to put together. I've been making this wonderful, delicious recipe for so many years, and it is the best recipe I've ever tried for candied pecans. And now I'm going to share it with you. Let's get started putting these wonderful candied pecans together. I have a bowl here and I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar, a half a cup of brown sugar, and I'll have this full recipe below so you can easily find it and make these yourself. I also have some salt, 1 teaspoon. I have a tablespoon of cinnamon and 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. That seems like an unusual ingredient, but it really adds a lot to this recipe. Now we're just going to take a whisk and mix all of these ingredients together. In this stainless steel bowl, I have 3 tablespoons of egg whites, or you can separate the eggs and use the whites of 3 eggs. I'm going to take a big whisk and beat these up until they're nice and frothy. It just took a few seconds to beat these egg whites up until they were frothy. I've noticed that when they're nice and frothy, they stick really nice to the pecans. And here I have 4 cups of pecans. All we need to do is just take the pecans and toss all of the pecans until they're nicely coated with the egg whites. I like to use a stainless steel bowl when I'm whipping up the egg whites because after all, that's one of the very best things to use when you're whipping up egg whites for a meringue. They whip up really, really nicely in stainless steel, and the fluffier and frothier they are, the better they seem to stick to the pecans. So now that all of our pecans are coated with the egg whites, I'm going to take our dry ingredients, I have them right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just pour these right in. This recipe only takes minutes to put together. All right, once we pour our dry ingredients on top, just take your big spatula and fold them right in. Just turn them nice and gently until all of the pecans are coated. I have always loved candied pecans. I know some of my friends are listening right now, and they say pecans. I'm from Ohio, and in Ohio I grew up and everybody I knew always said pecans. So I've grown accustomed to saying pecans, but however you say it, you're going to love these just the same. When I was a child, everywhere we went, it seemed like there was a candy counter in all of the department stores and all of the grocery stores. They always sold nuts and all sorts of different seasonings and flavors. Trail mix and bridge mix, all of the nuts coated in chocolate. It was so wonderful, and they always sold candies of every kind. I sure miss having those around, but now I can easily make my own. Okay, now that these are all coated successfully in the wonderful topping, we're going to put these on a parchment lined tray and bake them in the oven. We're going to pour our pecans right onto this tray lined with parchment paper. And carefully, without knocking the coating off, carefully spread them out into a single layer. This is a 13 by 18 size pan, and it seems to work perfectly. I've been using it for many years for my candied pecans. And into the oven at 350 for about 30 to 40 minutes. While your pecans are in the oven, it'll be a great time to get your dishes done. It has been 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, we want to take our pecans out and just lightly toss them. At this point, they're really frothy and fluffy looking, but we're going to give them a nice little gentle toss without knocking the coating off. And then we'll put them back in the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes. Once you get them turned over, make sure you spread them back out into a single layer. Just do the very best you can. Now back to the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. The candied pecans just came out of the oven for the second time after another 15 minutes. And now I'm just going to lightly toss them and stir them around and put them back in a single layer so that they can cool. My house smells amazing. You can't believe how wonderful it smells. Once the candied pecans are all cool, they'll be all done and ready to package. They'll be perfect for gift giving this Christmas season. Here's how the wonderful, delicious candied pecans turned out. They only took minutes to put together, and they're absolutely delicious. I also packaged up some for our friends. They're bagged and ready to drop off. I am so happy you're here today to make these candied pecans. They're absolutely delicious and my house smells just scrumptious. I can't wait for you to give these a try and realize just how easy and how delicious they are. They're perfect for sharing with friends, having around the house for the holidays, or for gift giving. I would be so happy if you hit the subscribe button and the like button, and I'll see you next time. Merry Christmas.